I just hit the button.
Uh,
Welcome to Bogside Chats, where we're talking everything Defikingdoms and keeping it casual. My name is Matty. As always, I am joined by Franz and Guy Kid. Boys, how we doing?
Doing great. I'm coming off a week where I had like 4 or 5 hot takes, all proven wrong within a week's time. I asked a question that sounded pretty stupid once it was explained on the ADFK pod. So yeah, I'm here.
Guy?
I'm doing well. I could say I am doing delightful tonight with my caramel delight.
Wait, hold on, Guy. Hold on. I got to take away the screen, so now you can show it. What do we got?
Little Girl Scout cookies?
Oh, wait, which ones?
The caramel delights, of course.
Oh, is that your favorite?
I would say favorite is a Thin Mint.
Yeah.
But when I asked the Girl Scout what her favorite was, it was caramel delights, so I had to buy a couple.
Oh, what a sweetheart.
Right.
What a sweetheart you are, huh?
What are the peanut butter ones called? Tagalongs?
Peanut butter
I believe
patties.
so, yeah.
They're just called peanut butter?
Yeah, they're peanut butter patties.
Those are sick.
I'm a Thin Mints guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm a Thin Mint. Thin Mints in the freezer.
Ooh, yes. I agree. I approve that message.
Yes.
All right, we are very excited about tonight's episode. We're gonna talk some AMA notes. We got a new segment of the show called Franz's Notes that I'm very excited about. We're gonna talk about some alpha that our friends at the ADFK pod dropped with Mr. Zipper, or excuse me, Dr. Zipper. So sorry, I missed his title there. And then finally, we teased it out in the beginning, but that's how we're going to wrap up the show. Is I have a presentation I'm going to present.
Wait, we're doing that last?
Yes, that's that last. Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Will there be math in the presentation?
No. No. I create. No. Of course not. It's ridiculous.
I thought we were leading off with your.
No. We close with the presentation.
All right.
That's how you get people in. You get the viewers. You entice them, and then
you force them to stay the whole time. To hear subpar alpha. Got it.
Exactly. I'll be giving my presentation at the end of why I know what the next class is. So that's a little teaser. All right. Let's start it off though. It is February 6th. They had a AMA last Thursday. I used to date. I need to be doing that more often. I used to say the date like every podcast. No, I don't. They had an AMA last Thursday where they dropped some spicy little combat notes for anybody that was paying attention. The first one, which I think is just massive, Hubert said this like super casually. I don't even think he meant to say it, but Poison is out for this next boar hunt. Poison is not going to be involved in the next drop at all, which I think is just wild that he kind of just casually like said that. It was a question. The question was about blind and does blind last forever? It's basically you're blinded until you cleanse it, which I think is what we thought it was anyways. And they kind of confirmed that in the same situation.
That it wasn't like I could expect like a long duration, like 5 turns or something like that.
Right.
Forever is kind of rough.
Mm-hmm. He said the same thing with Poison. Poison's the same way. Poison. I don't know if that was true. I should maybe pull that back before I say that, but he said that the two of those were similar. But this information is kind of wild because we thought here on this podcast we were pretty strongly saying we thought Thief was going to be the next class in the next boar hunt.
I think it's Thief.
But well, hold on, that's ridiculous. Thief is all about poison. He's 3 of his moves in the first 5 tiers have poison, and in general, that's kind of like a motif that the Thief has is poisoning people and backstabbing. So that kind of means that he's out. In my opinion, and in general, I think it's kind of disappointing because like I was excited for Poison. I think it's a fun mechanic. It's interesting that he kind of casually just let it known that like Poison's out. So what are you guys' thoughts on Poison being out and that kind of casual release by Hubert there?
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I was sure it was Thief. I was excited for it to be Thief. I have a few Thieves ready to go that I wanted to use. But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll find out later tonight what the actual class is going to be.
You have to tune in. You'll have to tune in.
Well, they're already tuned in, Matty.
Yeah.
You will as well, though. You have to pay attention tonight, is what I'm saying.
Thief and Poison have to go together, though. That's my
question.
Yeah. Why wouldn't they?
There's 3 moves that he has in the first 5 tiers. There's several.
The codex is still accurate and up to date.
Right. Like they'd have to do a complete rework of the thief for poison not to be involved. Do you know what I mean? And like, I doubt they're going to do that. I don't know. I think this means thief is out emphatically. And again, it will be part of my presentation later.
Our boy Mellow Green saying, "Why are we equating the next hunt and the next class?" I was kind of assuming that the next class would be dropping with the next hunt. Is that not the case? So
yeah. So Mellow Green Giant is right here. They're not necessarily 1-to-1. Like they're not exactly the same. However, I cannot imagine them working on these things and you know, like
if you're gonna make these delay and all these different what's the status effects and different types of
so delay, fear, confuse, these are all in the next boar hunt. Why would you not pick a class that also had some of those skills? That would just seem like you're doing extra work, you know. So I guess there is an assumption being made there that all these new boar hunt mechanics, that the next class is going to have at least one of them. That is an assumption I make.
Is there anything in the current boar hunt that we could equate to a future class?
How so? What do you mean?
Like wild charge and taunt and gore and stuff. Like was that kind of overlapped with the warrior? Like wild charge isn't. But
I mean, taunt certainly. Taunt. I think taunt. So taunt was very interesting. Taunt came out. Well, actually, the knight had taunt too.
The
originally.
Bleed mechanics are what you're looking
and bleed. Yeah.
All right. So I'm just wondering if like we're ahead of ourselves, off a cycle, if you will, but I don't think we are.
No, I mean, I guess technically, yeah, they could be. Those two things could be working. You know, like the next boar hunt and the next class could be like kind of separated from each other. But I can't imagine them not overlapping at some point. You know.
Yeah, agreed.
Right. So that was like a little fun little thing. More straightforwardly, which I think they planned on doing, was the confuse. So there was a question about how confuse worked, and Workhorse dropped. Guy, I think you had that up, right? Workhorse just dropped a whole bunch of new language about how confuse is going to work. Right, so here it is. A confused combatant has a 50% chance to perform a basic attack targeting a random combatant, including himself or herself, instead of performing their intended actions. When inflicted, the duration is randomly determined between 1 and 3 rounds. Cannot channel while confused. Gain resistance to confusion 50% for the next 4 turns. Interrupts, which might be one of the most important words here in this entire thing. Stack limit 1. This is super interesting. I feel like the interrupts might be the most important.
So just kind of comparing that to what was there before.
Right.
I previously read, and I'm taking this from Wowie's sheet. I'm assuming he has it correct.
Right. Yeah, he does.
Target's abilities have a 50% chance to target a random alternative target, including yourself. So the big difference being it doesn't hurt you as much when, you know, instead of like if I do a repeating shot with my archer and I'm confused, a repeating shot on my own archer or on one of my teammates, pretty big deal. A basic attack, slightly frustrating, you know, but not going to turn the tide of the game, so to speak.
No, I agree. The fact that the abilities can't hit your own people now, I don't know.
It also previously interrupted, by the way.
Oh, it did already? I thought that was new. All right.
No.
Regardless, I mean, it's just more interruption. How would I phrase that? More interrupts, I guess, would be the.
Yeah, and I feel like that's turning into something that I said on this pod a few weeks ago that I was excited for the next Void Hunt because I think there'll be more chance to use the channel tree for the archer. The more that they're implementing, the more things that can interrupt, the more things that can kind of quell the channel.
Channels are, yeah.
I feel like they need to buff the channeling. Like those moves need to be incredible because it's going to be so hard to get them off.
It just seems like almost everything. I shouldn't say that, but it seems very easy to interrupt a channel.
Like you have a lot of options to interrupt the channel.
I think adding something like just a default while channeling, there's an increased evasion rate.
Well, Shroud takes care of that. I mean, I look at this. Like,
but in general, though, if you don't have that, if you don't have an archer subclass or you're not an archer,
yeah, I just feel like you
like,
can't go full channel. Like,
right.
you can have a channel move, but if that's your like the archer tree right now, it's all channeling moves. You can't do that.
There's too
you're
many
handicapping
things that
yourself.
negate the channel, and there's not enough upside of a successful channel.
Right.
I mean, shout out to something else podcast we haven't done in a long time. I want to compare it to Pokemon. You know, back in the day, you know, how often did you choose those moves that took 2 turns? When you know your opponent is hitting you hard, are you going to waste your time?
Was it Hyper Beam or
Hyper Beam and Solar Beam both took 2 turns because it was like a charge up turn. And it was a choice you had to make. And I think a lot of those paid off because the damage was like absolutely insane. And like you almost won instantly when you got it. But I think that, I don't know, are the channel moves going to be insane where it's like a 1-turn kill?
And I think, not to like keep going down the Pokemon path.
Please do, though. Please do.
Have 6 abilities with an
right. You only had 4. Yeah.
So it was a lot harder to run into a counter build if you had a channel, because not everyone had an interrupt. Whereas I think you can build your heroes where pretty much every hero has some type of dazed or confused.
Yeah.
You see what I did there?
Dazed and confused. Yeah.
Great movie. Yeah, and then you throw the abilities into play where someone just has a daze, or does exhaust.
Yeah.
Right.
Exhaust.
Exhaust does it too. Yep.
Interrupt.
Yeah. Stun. I mean, it's a higher level one. No, exhaust would do it.
It does. Yes, it does interrupt.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of options there.
Yeah. Wait, confuse isn't an ability, is it? No.
Not a trait.
Right. It's not a trait. Sorry, it's not a trait. Yeah, this is super fun. Also, something I tweeted at Workhorse. I said this is cleansable, and it is cleansable. Also, very interesting that it's 1 to 3 turns.
What isn't cleansable at this point?
Dazed.
Dazed and exhaust because they're time-based status effects.
Yeah.
So the idea of, and Workhorse talked about that with us.
When an event happens,
it makes sense because the timelines change.
Like poison and bleed are ongoing. Right. This confusion has an ongoing time. You know, a lot of the other ones that have a like kind of ongoing, whether it's limited or not limited, anything that has an ongoing time, will be cleansable. It's sort of that. It's sort of, and then we'll talk about more about that a little bit later when we talk about the time bar stuff.
Did they say, are we going to get hero traits with all this? Is that been talked about at all?
No?
So they've said they're working on it. There hasn't been any kind of clear indication of that. That was a theory proposed by Sir Worm and Wowie on Sir Worm's stream, is that this Void Hunt sheet that has all the things on it is actually it's going to be traits, which is an interesting theory, but it doesn't cover all of them on the sheet, so I'm not sure if they're going to be doing that. But they've said they're working on it as a priority. They want that in the gameplay, like in some boar hunts, in some version of boar hunts. But I don't think we're going to see that for a bit. All right, this is very cool. All right, yeah. Next thing in the AMA. I mean, anything else on confusion or confuse?
Nope.
No, we haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's cool. I want to see it in
We'll
action.
Discuss it more when we see it.
Totally. Offhand weapon / item. I really loved this, and I feel like shout out to Sargent. I know he was in the chat. He had a show on Friday where the guys were talking about it, and I feel like the imagination wasn't there. Like this could be anything. So what they're saying was there's an offhand equipment slot that they haven't really thought about it. It's not really a priority, which like I get, they're trying to like get stuff out there. But the idea right now is that it's a shield, but also they have an idea for a focus item, which is like an arcane focus, which helps like spellcasters, increase their what have you, like, spell bonus or anything like that. And he was saying how like, yeah, down the line, they will be putting items there to increase like various classes and stuff like that. And I thought it was super fun. Obviously like it's definitely not a priority by how like Hubert was talking about it, but they definitely are thinking about it, which I think is super fun. And like, Like there's a million items in games like that. The cleric has the lantern that helps him turn undead and stuff like that. Like I think there's a ton of cool items that could fill in here. I think it's a long ways out, but I'm excited for it.
Well, so the idea of offhand and the idea of shields. So we were
Right.
talking a little bit during the week. We had a big discussion last week towards the end of the pod about should we be putting wisdom on our knights, on our tanks that
Right.
aren't magical, because hey, that's magical defense and all that. I think that, or a light bulb went off when Hubert was talking about shields and just more, I guess, just about armor in general. I think that's going to account for the stats that we lack.
That's a good point. Yeah.
The idea, like, I think I'm going to be able to throw armor on my knight that accounts for that wisdom, that boosts that wisdom. So that, my goal is now to keep min-maxing the way I've been min-maxing. I think equipment's going to take care of it, specifically shields.
Well, you're saying like a shield that might not be that strong against physical defense, but it has this like massive magic boost,
I feel like we're kind of looking at this game in terms of this one set of weapons that we have, right? The boar set. Once we get down, 4 or 5 boar hunts down the road, so like 2026, we're looking around, and and we're gonna have all these different weapons. The debate over what's better, like I don't think it's gonna be linear. Like gore blade is here, toxic blade or something's here, the fire sword of fire's here. I think they're all gonna have things that are good about them, things that are bad about them, and situational use cases. And that's something that Mr. Zipper said, Dr. Zipper, said when he was on with ADFK, was the idea of situational use cases. And right now, there's only one real situation, so it's kind of tough to see it.
Right. So. No, I agree with that. And Guy, I mean, I think WoW did this well. WoW had a lot of like offhand items that were like this, that were like not weapons necessarily, but like were boosts or like random stuff. And
a lot of the casters had interesting tomes and orbs and that kind of stuff.
Right. Yeah. But I even think there could be items that were like non-caster like stuff that could be bonuses, like I don't know, like a lucky rabbit's foot, and like it increases your luck. Like stuff like that. I definitely think that could exist, and I think there's a lot of cool opportunities for that.
But is that an offhand, or is that like the...
No? Well, yeah, I would consider that an offhand. But that's a decision you have to make of like, is your guy gonna have a sword with one hand and then a lucky rabbit's foot, or would you rather a shield? Like probably the shield, unless you're doing a weird, thief build, whatever.
Thief build, a ninja build.
Yeah.
I feel like we asked this and I was disappointed in the response, but
that could be anything, really. It could be so many different things.
But is there gonna be armor sets, weapon sets, item sets for your professions and your crafters?
I think they said no.
Yeah, I think the answer was no.
They did say no, because Hubert said having to adjust the formulas for all the professions just slightly because of a weapon. They're already doing it for pets. Like they don't want to spend time on that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Maybe down the road. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who cares?
I mean, I obviously the only reason I'd give hope to that kind of line of thinking is the dual, the dual equipment that's specifically for duels. Yeah. But also I think, I mean, they said I think they're focused on combat exclusively and not really. But I really like that idea, and I also really like that idea for crafting too, because then there could be different tracks of like how you build your weapons out and stuff like that. How you focus them.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about like paths for the weapons, I mean, the enchantment slots are
right.
It won't be paths in the sense of foraging or shit like that, but we're gonna have ways to customize these things. What if you take a strong shield and put all magic defense on it to boost up that? You know what I mean?
No, well, and also too, hypothetically, it might be like in combat only, but I would say like some sort of like armor or shield that says like +2 to agility. That'll help your fishing, hypothetically, right?
Yeah. Again, I don't think they're not going to do it like that.
But... Right. It'll be just in battle, right?
Yeah, right. I also don't know why you guys or mainly Guy is so obsessed with profession.
I don't even.
Yeah, they said profession sucks. They said that.
Once PvP comes out, I don't even know if I'm going to play combat. I'm just going to go forage and fish.
Yeah. Hey, I mean,
Jay, go
we're
for
gonna
it,
need
yeah.
those items.
Sure.
So.
Okay, and last big topic that I found interesting. I mean, they talked about a bunch of things in the AMA. This wasn't a complete list, but they talked about mining, and there was a lot of interesting things that they said about mining, where like they're aware we're about to hit the wall here on mining. That there's a cap sort of coming once like all the locked
Well, because
crystal.
we're just about done with locked crystal. That's gonna be, I think,
So like
March 1st or end of March, maybe.
I don't know the exact date, but it's very soon.
It's in March.
It's within a month. So they're going to have to revamp mining, and it wasn't super reassuring, but it was reassuring that like that is on their radar and they're working on it.
Sure, they are.
Say it again.
Oh, I said sure they are. I don't know.
Right. Like, well, they said they're going to revamp it so that you can get more than 18 people going for it, and then they said like at some point you're going to be going for ore and these other items, but none of it sounded immediate. None of it sounded like soon.
Before crafting.
Yeah, like it wasn't super reassuring because right now I think, and we've discussed this, mining is the worst of all the professions right now, significantly, especially with pets. Not having the pets there. And they're definitely working on it. It was what I got from that answer.
No, you keep saying that. I got the total opposite from that. They're
all right.
And they're saying it's okay that they're not working on it because they're focusing on combat. And sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
But as you said, mining is the worst profession. This is something that shout out Bob Nothing, he kind of brought up originally.
Yeah.
It's the miners are all lagging behind when it comes to XP growth. Now you could look at that and say, well, we have other avenues for XP growth now. You always had the training quests. Now just throw them in boar hunts, right? So like, is it a big deal? I don't know. I would like to send my miners out and feel good about it.
I think they have a window here where it could be bad, where the miners' value just goes even worse than it is now. So I do think they need that needs to become a priority at some point. I don't know how they do that. Again, it's hard. I'm not saying this is easy, but like they need to adjust how mining works at some point in the next 6 months. Because if they don't, I think it's going to really hurt the value of those heroes.
Yeah, and I think Mellow Green makes a good point here. Stop mining Lock Jade. What's the point?
Yeah.
The point is there would be a point if Jade had value. Because you're trying to get it quicker, to sell it, to do whatever with it. But Jade's at such a low.
Yeah.
I mean, could it go lower? Sure, I guess it could. But like, I feel like how much lower?
Well, it's not worth the gas.
So like, why are you gonna? Right, it's not worth the gas that you're using to get it. And like, why are you rushing to accumulate it when it's at its lowest point? I mean,
no. Yeah.
So. All right, the mining topic is.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with that. All right, let's move to our new segment on the podcast. We're calling Franz's Notes.
Already?
Yeah.
I thought this was a late episode thing. So, this is going to be kind of random. First time.
That's the point. That's the whole point of the segment. Franz's Notes. Let's hear it.
All right. Shit, I wasn't.
Did you take any notes?
I wrote some down. Okay.
I got notes. The equipment timer. Once durability is released, and I've asked this on the AMA and I didn't like the answer, so I'm going to keep asking it. Once durability.
First off, be careful here. You're going to reveal your alts if you keep saying you're asking.
No,
AMA.
This was
okay, good. Okay,
account. And yes, I do have a burner for AMA questions. Anyway, I lost my train of thought here. This 24-hour timer on equipment. Once durability is released, we should not have it. Without durability, I understand, but once durability is released, if I want to take the fire sword of fire and hand it off, it's deteriorating as I'm doing that. The more uses, the timer is the amount of uses that I have before I repair it. Why can't I use it in every battle if I want to?
I agree with that. I hope, I'd want a more clear answer if there is some sort of technical reason why they can't do that, blockchain, what have you, whatever. Sorry, go, guy.
I don't think there is a technical limitation.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If there isn't one, if there is one, and like Magnus comes in, he's like, no, we can't do it because of like whatever. I'll be like, fine, I believe you.
I get
but
it.
Like, if there's not, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Like weapons, we should be able to pop between heroes at will. That's the whole point of like if you find that one good weapon, like
because of the durability.
Yeah.
Say again.
If you end up using it 10 times over the course of 24 hours, now that item's gone or whatever the durability is.
Right. If can you say like, oh, but that's BS if somebody has the best weapon currently in the game and they just keep using it and keep paying to fix it? They're paying to fix it.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
Next note.
Yeah, go for it.
Are these quick hitters? How do we want to do this?
However you want to do them. It's Franz's notes section.
Land tournaments with PJ Heroes.
Oh, right. Yeah, you want to talk about this. All right.
I'm not sure how that works anymore.
Yeah. I mean...
Because... No, go.
Well, I was going to say, originally it was supposed to be this like weird kind of version of duels, but then they sort of said like, yeah, maybe it actually will be the combat system. And at this point, we haven't really heard about it from the team in a while, so it's kind of like a question mark of like, what is it actually going to look like? Because I don't know if you could do the current 3v3 with I mean, how many PJ Heroes are there? I don't even know.
That's exactly it, right? We went into this thinking 1v1 duel style. There are probably a lot of people out there that just have one PJ Hero.
Right.
I feel like DFK has been good about, it may take longer than they say, but about kind of coming true on things they say in time.
Yeah.
I feel like it's almost a rug to those people that only have one or two PJ Heroes, that now you need a team of 3. And now how long in the future is this going to be? Because if they're going to put something such high stakes as land, PvP has to be airtight. Like there could be no bugs. There could be no like we're all like minimum viable product, get us something. If we're putting something like that at stake, that I just feel like we're pushing it so far out into the future.
Right. And well, I'm not gonna say. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Like, would you be more satisfied if we had land tourneys tomorrow with duels?
Yeah.
Sure.
That's what originally they promised, so I'd see no issue with that.
I was surprised that was the reaction from both.
You thought I was going to go a different way.
I mean, sure. I think if they were say we're doing land tournaments, and even if it was kind of a shitty format, I would just be pumped because that's just fun that they're doing it. You know,
you want to get the community buzzing about something like that.
Right. That would get people amped up, I think.
And I would say is fleshed out enough that like you could have a fair duels tourney. You could see what is that's what they're starting with the champion system and whatnot.
I mean, I think it'd be interesting. I would assume that like the PJ ones you'd only be able to participate with PJ Heroes because there are current Dark Summoned Heroes that are like the stats are way higher than PJ Heroes. So I wouldn't want it to be like a hybrid. You know what I mean?
I will say, so they did say the PJ land tournaments are going to be separate, but no, I don't think this could be tomorrow because land has to come out first because we need the idea of these land tournaments being in different places and having to make the decisions that way. That was something that they always talked about that I thought was very intriguing about the system, was that it's going to make us make decisions as to where our legion is at the time, and how thin we can stretch ourselves with the different heroes, stuff like that. So, yeah,
I like that. Yeah.
All right. All right. I'm trying to think how to word this one.
I know what the question is.
So it's the crystal question or comment. So I think that the rarity of the different lesser, regular, greater stones and crystals is a little bit off. I feel like graders should be more rare, maybe even just a little, and regular ones should be less rare. But I think it's the kind of thing where you can't really make the change now because we're kind of in the middle of this growth to level 20.
How would you even change that?
By changing the drop rates. And by drop rates, I mean the way that they come out, whether it be raffles or the thing in the meditation circle.
The graders are... You can't get graders, right? How do you get graders right now?
Raffles.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's another way. But the point I was going to there I don't think you could do it now while we're all still growing, because then the people that rushed ahead have, an advantage, an obvious advantage there. I think you wait until a large portion of the community reaches level 20, and then at that point, you have time to reset. I think they should reset the drop rates on those things a little bit.
I mean, I think that's what they're doing right now, right? Isn't in essence? Or I guess you're saying change it right now, and wait a little bit, because I feel like we're kind of waiting right now for everyone to get level 20. That's like what we're doing.
I'm saying
in general.
when a large portion of the community is at level 20 would be the time to make the change.
I see.
Because it's kind of an even starting off point before they open up the gates to level 30.
Do we have? And this is something that maybe there was that guy that you liked, guy who had like stats and stuff like that. Do we have stats on how often people are leveling up right now? Like, the leveling in general, like leveling level 15 to 20 has had to have been decreased in the past like month or maybe 2 months.
If you're getting a hero that far, you're kind of continuing.
But
that's not true, actually.
Because the Mokasha like prices, I feel like you had to have slowed down on those like higher level ups is what I'm suggesting. And in general, like, do we have stats on leveling up across the board, globally? Do we have leveling up stats?
I mean, I feel like, are we really going back to the leveling conversation again?
Well, no. I don't want to touch that, but I'm saying what you're talking about is let's wait for the community to all get to level 20. And I'm telling you, I bet the community is kind of just treading water. I bet they're not leveling up right now.
I feel like you're talking about in terms of the current landscape and like as if it's never going to change. And I know some days it might feel like it's never going to change, but things are going to change here. Yeah. I expect to see a higher drop rate for Mokshas in the next Void Hunt.
Yeah, I think so too. I think if that's not true, I think everyone's going to be kind of upset with that. Well, I hope. I don't know.
And that's the end of Franz's notes.
Okay. All right.
Didn't really love that segment. It was me.
I can't wait. That's a new segment. Everyone, that was Franz's notes, a new segment that we're going to be doing every week.
We'll see if that continues.
I'm excited about that every week. All right. So we hinted at it, but we really want to touch on this because this was an awesome interview. This was super fun. Raph and Neindorf of ADFK did an interview with Dr. Zipper yesterday. That was yesterday, right? Yesterday during the day, where he dropped a ton of alpha on them. The biggest one, of course, being the time bar and how sort of turns work in the game. The team then, Defikingdoms, the official account, then they tweeted this out, which was sort of another image of the time bar with more information about how it works. So huge shout out to Neindorf and Raph for like getting Zipper on and like for dropping all this information. It was awesome. I highly recommend everybody go check that out. Like I said, it was yesterday during the day that they had him on. They also talked about a lot of like weapons and stuff, and there's a couple other little nuggets in there that were amazing. But the big thing obviously was this time bar. This has been hinted at, like Hubert sort of explained that this is how it worked, but this is the first time we're seeing it visually. I think it's super fun. I'm excited. My first thought, obviously, was like, oh shit, it's like Mario Kart. Like Mario Kart 64, when you're racing and you see where your opponents are, like on the track against you, you'll know where they are and like you can, adjust accordingly. I think this is great. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Did you get a chance to look at it all? Even?
I think it's pretty cool. The stuff we see at the bottom, it looks like you can see when status effects.
Right.
Dropping on and off.
Yeah.
Would cooldowns be visualized this way too?
I don't know. So the most interesting one is number 3, was indicator for a status effect wearing off. I also find that interesting because hypothetically that status effect is for one individual hero. That's what I mean. That's not like a global thing that everybody in the battle has. So like, what is it? Is it just for you? Your heroes are displayed on there, and the status effects of them, or is it for something else?
Well, that confused me as well, because in that chart, number 3, the status effects wearing off doesn't coincide with a hero turn, and right now, all of these mechanics are based on the amount of turn, or based on a turn. So, am I wrong on that? Are status effects falling off in between our turns? I don't think that's the case.
I'm trying to think.
That's just a graphic error here.
I'm trying to think if there's something that's like, it stays in effect separate from turns, but I really don't think there is anything.
I don't think there is either. They might have just done this to make it visually appealing.
Just so that you can
right,
see
just to
it
show
separate,
us. But yeah, there's no hero attached to that.
I mean, this is going to be big. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, and they might just be showing us how it works. And this isn't necessarily, a practical. This is just kind of like an example. Because I do think this is very fun, and also something they said was it typically takes 10 ticks for your turn to come up. This entire chart, I counted it out, and depends on if you count the first one as a tick or the second one as a tick, but it's between 24 and 23 ticks are visible. And so obviously if you're faster, it's going to be less than 10. If you're slower, it's going to be a little more than 10. But hypothetically, you should see your hero on there twice, at some point for their various turns coming up. Because it takes like 10, like I said, 10 ticks for your turn to happen.
Well, so I think this is going to be very important for, I don't know, Matty, you and I were talking about, I don't know if we actually discussed this on the pod, but the idea of the pass turn meta or the pass turn strategy with the priest.
Okay, so that was in France's notes that I thought we were going to bring up, but
I thought you just wanted quick hitter, like,
sure.
I don't know. Anyway, no, the idea of with the priest kind of making sure that all its moves are worth it, like
right.
Passing turn so that you're never healing above the max because unless you have a wild charge or a rampage coming, you want to just let it have another attack on the hero that you're healing,
right?
Then heal it. Or the idea of like a lot of times if my heroes are near full health and a wild charge is coming, I'll pass turn so that my priest is the first to act after the wild charge. It'll be, I don't know if it'll be easier because like maybe if we play with heroes enough, we'll know
so
where 400 initiative puts it on the bar.
Is 400 initiative 4 ticks?
No, I asked Workhorse this. I said, "What's the conversion initiative to tick conversion rate?" And he gave me a bullshit answer because I realized it was a bad question because the initiative is based on your speed, so initiative is different,
right,
for all heroes. You gain 400 initiative per passing a turn, but that's not the same amount of time,
right,
for all heroes.
So, and this is a key thing. Like initiative is basically like where you start on this scale, and then your speed is how fast you move along it. And I hope I'm not saying that wrong. If I saw Wowie in the chat, and Wowie, I hope you would back me up on that. Like your initiative is where you pop up originally, and then your speed is how fast you go along it. So those are kind of two separate.
But the pass turn gives you 400 initiative.
Right. So it resets you hypothetically on the scale somewhere, and then your speed continues.
Right. I'm with you.
But this is an awesome question that Raph and Neindorf asked Zipper, and I would back them up. And honestly, we should probably put it in an AMA question because this is like something like Beetle Dude, put it on his list or whatever. What they should show is if you're about to do something, they should have it hover over and like, a translucent display of like what would happen if you did this thing. Yeah. Like show where it would affect it.
Yeah.
Because like if you hover over past turn, it would be cool if it showed you where you move to or on this scale. But yeah, I think this is going to change how we play the game, like completely. Well, not completely, because like it still is.
We're going to see it more.
It's kind of there already.
Right.
Nothing's changed, and Zipper said this. Nothing's changing as far as how the game's played. It's just how we're seeing it. Is that going to change our strategy a little bit because we're able to conceptualize it? Like looking at that bar, right? Mm-hmm. That the knight that's right ahead of that boar there, right where your mouse is. I know that, or I feel better that if I'm gonna pass turns with him, I'm gonna be before that next boar because there's such a wide gap.
I agree. Yeah.
Whereas where number 5 is, not a great example, but like there's less space.
No, I agree with you. I mean, you could look at that hero you're talking about is also the same hero for number 6. Mm-hmm. And so you could see where their next turn hypothetically will be farther down the line. It makes you feel more confident doing something where you see where their turn would be after the fact. I think, I'm excited about it. I think it adds another level of strategy that we were kind of guessing at before, but now we can have an actual, way to do it.
I guess I go back to my question: is a tick 100 initiative?
No,
no. The answer is no.
If a ninja with really high speed passes turn, do they gain more in the time bar than a slow knight?
Yes, because it's based on their speed. Because the initiative for each hero is based on that hero's individual speed. So 400 initiative for that ninja is not the same as 400 initiative for my really slow knight. It might be, 4 ticks for the ninja and 7 ticks for the knight. It would be more.
Switch
right?
it, but yeah,
whatever. It's not the same.
Got it. That's what I would be expecting, but that's cool. That makes sense.
No, that's what you're saying is what I originally thought, and that's why I asked Workhorse the question in that way.
I think it's fun, and also too, it goes to that whole thing of I like that the battle is dynamic. Like the turn orders are going to be dynamic, and I know this isn't new information, but this just makes it more fun and especially more visual. I honestly, I think that, again, they're building a game here that I think they want to last, and they want to be like an esport thing, and I think it's gonna be super fun to be to see moves to see you move in the turn order and fall in between. If your opponent is trying to do something cool with 2 moves back to back, but you then fall in right in between them and block it, that'd be super cool. And I think there's a lot of cool things that could happen with this time bar. So sure. I'm very excited about it.
Which brings me to we don't have to go deep down the question, but is DFK going to be a niche game, or is it going to be a mass market game? Of the esports comment, the intricacies associated with that, is UI what drives mass adoption in games? What drives more people getting on board?
That is a massive question.
Yeah, wait, how does that fit into the time bar? Do you think the time bar is too complicated?
Is that, yeah.
That's kind of the question, yeah.
Why? But all right, so you come to the game, you're playing the game. Are you going to be focused on the time bar, or it's going to just sit there for a while? Maybe you don't understand it at first. Do you think someone's going to see that and be like, "Oh, I'm out of here"? I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly, my answer to you is
sorry. That was a rude way to answer.
No, my answer to you is Hearthstone and League of Legends to some degree. I think to master some of these games, it requires intense knowledge and practice and whatever. But to play them, to pick it up and play it, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
I mean, to be a top level player at some of these games, yes, it's a lot, and it's not for everybody. But to play them, to just pick it up and play it, no. I'm hoping that's where DFK falls, as we're the top level where it's super competitive. Yes, it's not for everybody, but that's fine because it's the top level, But in general, if you want to get up and play it, you could understand this. You understand. You played Mario Kart 64. You get it. Oh, that guy's coming up behind me. I need to make sure I make my move before him. So I think. And again, I think it's very difficult to do that. I don't think there's many games that can qualify as that, as being difficult for the top level players, but also accessible for the everyday player. And I think DFK are positioning themselves to be that.
Yeah. Good answer.
That was a great answer.
Okay.
All right.
I'll break in real quick. So
yeah, do it.
Shout out to Digital Sniper and Sir Worm.
Okay.
They're both sending me heroes. I don't
What?
know the original reason they were sending.
He's just going to keep you guys. He's just going to keep those.
But I'll be giving them away.
Right.
So if you haven't spoken yet, if you've spoken already in chat, I have. Yeah, I've been doing a wheel on the side.
Oh,
if
nice.
you haven't spoken yet, just say something, anything. Say hi, and I'll throw you on the wheel.
Yeah. So talk in the chat, and you'll get a hero, or you'll be in a drawing for a hero. I shouldn't say that. You'll get a hero. All right, couple other quick notes from the Zipper ADFK interview. The strongest weapon, quote unquote strongest weapon, has not been dropped yet.
Yeah, that's
which I thought was super fun. So like, gore blades and bows, it's like 5-6-7% chance for bleed, right? Apparently it goes higher than that, and it hasn't dropped yet, which I find
10%
super fun.
Dropped, hasn't it?
10% drop? That's insane. Maybe that's the one.
I'll check.
I thought it capped at 10.
Well, the way Zipper was saying is like it doesn't cap, and just the highest hasn't ever happened yet. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's just like the item has a 0.5% drop rate, and even within that, there's a 1% chance of it. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just like it's the best weapon hasn't dropped yet.
Yeah, I just can't wait for the next set of weapons. And
I know
the one after that, like it's.
But also just this idea, though, I love that idea that like maybe there's a chance it never drops just because it's so rare. Like I love it. I think it's fun.
Or maybe you get it, Matty.
I probably will. That'd be great. I've been extrememely lucky with boar hunts. I have 250, not even, way under that, and I've gotten 3 weapons.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So I shout out to, and I'm not going to be able to pull this up on the screen because it's on my laptop, but shout out to Skiller, who put out a little thing on Twitter about his profitability.
Right, everyone's been posting those.
Yeah, a few other people have started posting them. So I did one, and off of 4 weapon sales, I have doubled the amount of jewel that I've spent to do it. Damn. And I still have. So I've doubled the amount of jewel that I have that I've put in when you convert everything back to jewel, and left over I have 13 gore heads, 16 cooler heads, 3 blades, 2 charger masks, a staff, and a bow left over after doubling my money. So if I wanted to sell all of that right now,
you'd be way in the money.
Yeah. So boar hunts profitable if you get those loot drops, which is a big if, but keep playing.
But I feel like on average, like you're gonna get them.
I want to be profitable too, so someone buy my bow.
Is it one of those special? Is it 7%?
No.
Then it should be 4.
Well,
shout out. Here's another thing we wanted to say. Shout out KP. We've been loving. We were talking offline. We've been loving the community highlights. Hearing from Karaked, hearing from Esper, hearing from. I'm forgetting. So Brovia you always have on, but him too. Like, I love that. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
Get more people on. Different perspectives. Very cool.
Also, KP, Franz wanted me to tell you he's available for those if you wanted to feature him.
I didn't say that. I of course I would come on, but I don't think I'm the community that we're trying to highlight. The unspoken community is who needs to be highlighted.
Yeah, the spoken community too, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, but also KP, those episodes have been awesome. Keep them going. I love it. I love.
ISIC is 9% so far for bleed.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, I didn't even know 9 existed. That's insane. Yeah.
Maybe 10 hasn't been dropped. I have an 8% blade. That I bought because it was near floor.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but it was near floor like a month and a half ago.
Right.
And now it's like double floor, but
30% chance for days is pretty wild too.
That's the
staff.
I was under the impression that was the highest because it starts at 25.
Yeah. 30 is pretty wild.
I'm excited for the staff.
Interesting. Yeah.
Going forward.
Which like you put that on a priest. And we always talk about like skipping turns with a priest. Oh, have the priest open with a daze. I like that.
Well, no. All right, so it's inflict daze when targeting a channeling enemy.
Oh, it's only channeling. Got it.
So
that's not as fun.
So why would you? But usually the wild charge you want to happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right now doesn't make sense. Maybe in the next boar hunt it makes more sense.
Right.
PvP. Definitely makes sense.
Oh yeah.
A 30% chance with a basic attack on your priest to stop someone from channeling. I mean, this goes back to what we were saying earlier. The channeling just right now doesn't seem viable, and that actually would be an AMA question. I would like to hear the answer to. Is like, hey, where does channeling stand right now for Hubert and Workhorse? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Are we ready?
You ready?
I'm
Alpha?
ready. Yeah.
Oh, it's been so built up. Everyone's gonna hate you for it. It's great.
It's been so. I'm taking the stage. By the way, I'm taking the stage.
It's all
So, before we go any further,
classes in session.
I need to lay these out. So these are some assumptions that we need to air out. And honestly, there's like topics to be discussed amongst all of these things. But I need to say this right now. We are assuming that the next class is going to be released similar, not the same time, maybe like around the same time that the Boar's Hunt V2 is going to be released. So it makes sense that the mechanics listed on the Void Hunts is going to be one of the mechanics, or if not more, of the heroes of the next hero class that is released. That is an assumption I am making here in this entire process. If that's not true, something that iOS Code suggested earlier in the episode, if that's not true, this whole thing is you can throw it out the window. Okay, that's the first assumption. Second assumption, and this is a big one that maybe we need to talk about. I am assuming that when the team makes statements at their AMAs, at interviews, other times, that they are not lying or misleading us, and that they are accurately describing the game. I hope they are not lying to us. If they are, that would be very upsetting. I'm not going to lie. For multiple reasons. But I'm assuming what they're saying to us is that they are accurately saying what they're working on is actually true. And then the final assumption is that the current codices, the ones that have been released by Workhorse, are still accurate. Specifically, there's two moves that really affect this. The Berserker and the Scholar have one move with poison that's kind of like sneaky, like snuck into their codexes. So as long as everything that has been published is still true, then my thesis will hold strong. But if the codexes are changes, or if the codices have changed, then my theory kind of goes out the window.
Can I stop you?
Yeah.
So you didn't give us any setup. You just went right into the assumptions.
Oh,
what are we talking
he's
about?
just going. Don't.
The assumptions are very key. I'm all right. Sorry, you're right.
What are the assumptions
right.
for? What are we talking
about? I know which class is going to be released for the Boar Hunt. I know the next class that is going to be released, and I'm going to prove it to you. But I have to work with these assumptions first. So this is very important that everyone understands these assumptions. Once we all agree that these are all true, then we can move forward, and I can explain why I know what class is next.
This is a lot just to say seer. I don't know.
Oh, how dare you? Okay, so any questions so far from the two of you?
I have
Why'd
no
you pick
questions.
green?
Yeah, it's a very green background.
Because like the bog side had green in it, so I thought that would be like a good way to do it. Also, I'm not very good at PowerPoint.
No, you're doing great, sweetie. Keep going.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That's what I need to hear. All right, so what we've been shown for the new Void Hunt combat mechanics are the 5 following: Confuse, Blind, Fear, Retaliate, and Delay. These are the classes that have each of those in their first 5 moves, which is important because some of them have other stuff in the later moves, but we're only looking at the first 5 moves.
I'm with you.
Yeah, so I'm going to kind of slide by this one because it's not that important right now. You just need to know that this is sort of what we're looking at. There's sort of a basis.
You're
of
laying
the
the facts down.
Yeah. What we know, like I said, the first line, I should have deleted that already, but Dreamer told us it is not Wizard. In the last AMA, these are links. I don't need to show them, but these are links to the actual things where they said these things. So Dreamer said it's not Wizard when he was on with us. In the last AMA, Hubert said no poison in the next drop. So that eliminates Thief, Scholar, and Berserker. Finally, Hubert made a comment saying the disarm move will require 2 equipment slots, meaning the subclass will have to be live for the disarm move to be active, which means Monk and Legionnaire are out for the next one because they're going to have to wait until subclasses are released. Now, this is kind of insane. I don't know if we talked about this, but I thought this was like kind of an insane thing that he said, that like Monk and Legionnaire are just not going to be active until subclasses are active. Like that's going to take forever, but whatever. That's sort of how he laid it out there. So this means Wizard is out Thief is out, Berserker is out, Scholar is out, Monk is out, and Legionnaire is out, based on all these things that everybody has said.
So who's in?
So the remaining classes: Fear. There's a Fear move that Pirate has, and then Delay. And I think they really want to display Delay, so I really am confident that Delay is going to be in this next one. That leaves Seer and Pirate as the only remaining two classes that it could possibly be.
Wait, what? I haven't heard anyone in the community at all say one of those classes.
Here's the thing. A lot of people have been guessing Seer, and I am confident that it is not going to be Seer. So something that they said a while ago, and Bolon backed up here on the Discord, is that the next class is progressing, but like requires an extended amount of coding, an extended amount of revamping, because it changes, or it has a new thing, a new mechanic that is going to change how the game is played. The first 5 tiers of Seer have no special new mechanics. They have Delay and they have some other moves, but they don't have any like special unique abilities. The Pirate specifically has roll a d20. This is a unique ability that only the Pirate has, and it's just like this fun, bizarre thing that they have that's like added randomness, added RNG that the Pirate has that no other class has, and it has it several times within his first 5 tiers. It is my belief that the Pirate is going to be the next class released for the boar hunts.
Wait, was that it? Can we clap?
Yeah, that is it.
So why?
I just laid out why. What do you mean why?
Unbelievable.
I just laid out very extensively why.
I don't know though, Matty. I've been hearing from everyone with a microphone for the past week and a half that it's going to be this year. So how could it not be?
The only saving grace I think Seer has is when they released the codexes, Seer was the next codex that they released. And I understand, sure. But I really do not feel that like Seer is the one they want to go next, because they already have a magic healer, and the Seer's first 5 tiers are really just heals and support. There's really not anything kind of special there.
At what point in the codex does Seer really get spicy? Is it right out of the gates? Or
like 10. It's a 10 pluses. The Seer doesn't get crazy till like you could do like level 60 when you can do like multiple level 10s.
Should I pull up the Seer?
Yeah, sure. Like, because like the Seers level 1 through 5 are like heals, kind of basic, kind of there's some interesting things there, but like it's not very intense. Where the pirate has released the Kraken. The Pirate has multiple like weird moves in his first 5. Like I'm convinced the Pirate is the next class.
So
not financial advice.
With the Seer, real quick, we got increase ally evasion, increase effective agi, target enemy for just a hit.
Yeah.
Hero cannot attack or deal magical damage.
That one is weird.
All right, I'm not reading through all this. I started this and I immediately regret it.
So there is one weird one, which is the Oracle, but for the most part, it's all just like delay, heal, deal some damage. Block, buffs.
Delay, slow target, channel, cleanse.
So then go to the Pirate.
It's interesting because it's a lot of utility moves, and we don't have a utility player
yet,
but
yeah. But the Pirate is way better at that, at all of those things. He's got damage, support, like crazy luck moves that are like, one chance hit of like something wild happening. Like and that's also too, I think, was that Worm?
It was.
It's very possible because Seer is so, boring in the first 5 levels. It's possible they're going to put Seer and Pirate together.
First off, stop calling Seer boring. That's a little derogatory there. But yeah, it could be. They did say a while back that they were going to start releasing multiple classes at a time.
Yeah.
But listen, I would be very excited if it was the Pirate. I have a few Pirates that I think are good. I think we talked about this last time, that it's one of those classes that could have very different builds. So far, the classes that we have, if you have an Archer, you're building for Dex. If you have a Priest, you're building for Wiz. Knight, you could say maybe Vitality or Endurance. It's really both. But like, there's one way to build it, right?
Pirate.
Warrior, yeah, you can make a case high
Yeah.
dex,
Maybe.
strength. Pirate, you can go dex, you can go luck, you can
Strength?
go strength, you can go vit. There's a lot more decision making there.
Well, and I've been hinting at it with my tweets and moves I've been making. I've been pushing for pirate. I got very lucky.
No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I love this comment from Ben Force.
Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah.
The sear floor as you say this.
Well, and I said, well, I also, I mean, I want to make sure, like, I play this game for fun, but also like there is a money aspect to it. But like, I think pirate's gonna be next class, and I've made moves to support that. But like, also, don't trust me or you know what I mean? Like, don't make financial decisions based on our podcast. Like, that's ridiculous. But like,
if you do make financial decisions based on this podcast, I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's horrible. Like,
yeah,
you need to figure that out for yourself.
Right.
Us saying
like,
not financial advice isn't going to help you. You're too far gone.
Yeah, like I'm confident this because I enjoy doing this and I had fun putting this information together, and like I'm having fun right now. And I let me tell you, I like I said, I've bought some pirates. I'll say this too, even if it's not pirate, the pirate matching subclass pirate, I think is the strongest matching class subclass. I think I've said that before, and I'll say it again here. Like, that's the strongest matching subclass of the basics that we've seen.
For anyone who doesn't read WoW's Super Spec before going to bed every night, the pirate capstone that's what you were just talking about, right? The capstone?
Yeah.
The pirate capstone is gain an array of effects, increased attack range by X, add plus X to all D20 rolls, X% effective strength, X% effective dex, luck, evasion, block, and spell block. So you basically you're going friggin' Super Saiyan with your pirate. Basically.
You become a hero that is different than a normal pirate. You know,
that is very good.
I think it's most eligible to be nerfed, which is kind of scary, but also I think
capstones are so far away.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, Worm saying, could the team release 10 plus skills for the next hunt? I feel like I would be upset with them if they did.
No way.
We have so many more classes to
go.
go.
Yeah, Worm, I would bet any amount of money that's not happening.
And it would be so complicated for them to balance. I like that they're doing this 5-tier thing first.
Yeah, I like it. I like it too. And I also like the idea. They've hinted this several times now, because I listened to a ton of AMAs to find all this information. Something that they're definitely more open to is opening PvP up without having all the classes ready. Like, I think they're trying to get it out as fast as they can, but I think they want to hit a few benchmarks before they do. But I think they're not as strict as we thought they were at one point, you know, where it's like all the classes have to be.
I mean, when Dreamer was on with us, he started talking about maybe real PvP. Maybe it's you're fighting ghost teams of your opponents. And to me, that didn't excite me at all. That's not PvP.
I mean, that's PvE. Yeah.
Yeah, let's not call that PvP and think it's going to satisfy the community. But it's a conversation for a later date. Yeah,
I put this together and I messaged Bolon, and he said that he's not going to comment at this time. So I'm pretty sure that's confirmation that I'm right.
Yep, that's
But
awesome.
I mean,
I'm buying pirates tonight. That's all I know. Not financial advice. I'm buying pirates.
I mean, I've been making pirate moves the past like 4 or 5 days.
Did you say, or did I cut you off, that you got a mythic pirate yesterday?
I've gotten 2. So I hit another one that was bullshit. It was 2 rares. But I've been grabbing random level 10 uncommon pirates and just doing them, because even if you miss on any like rarity upgrades, like that's still a solid boar hunt hero. But I hit on one that I tweeted about, and then I hit on another one that they weren't level 10. It was level 9 and level 1, and they had 2 matching abilities and missed on all the abilities, but it hit, and it's a level 5 mythic, and I'm super happy about it. But yeah, I've been pushing hard on the pirates, and like rares and uncommons are so cheap. It's so easy to find level 10s and just do it.
Well, that's so shout out SI. He made a tweet today about how he was buying warriors, level 10 warriors, and
Right.
or maybe he wasn't DSing them, but maybe he was just playing with them. But they're under 100 crystal. Level 10 pirate, same thing, under 100 crystal. Go get a few, have some fun.
Even because I think I mean commons, sure, go for it, but like uncommons, throw a lesser stone on, and a chance it hits at a rare or better. Like, man, it's amazing.
Bud, what's up?
But I'm leaving my boar hunt to go figure that out for you.
Got to throw Bud on the wheel too now. Yeah, and for anyone that might have popped in late, we have 2 giveaways, compliments of Digital Sniper and Sir Worm. And I just looked at these heroes. I'm going to pull them up while guys looking for that info. So not this. It's funny. I happen to have the same ID with Sarah.
Oh, like different. Oh, yeah. That's wild.
Nope. I'm just on the hero catalog. I don't have that as well. Anyway, it's this one here. It's a level 13 warrior with a regular might stone and a +3 tier bonus.
Nice.
This is not a nothing hero.
Is that yours or
no? So Sir Worm sent me this, or I don't know who sent.
That's what we're giving away.
Yeah, we're giving that away.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
And then the other one is a level 1 sage with a
sage
chaos stone and +3 tier bonus.
Where did it hit?
It hits Agi.
Agi on a sage is solid.
That's amazing.
Is that right?
What's the subclass?
Yeah, that makes sense. Unless the subclass is
Legionnaire.
Like, yeah, that's 100%.
So it hit Agi.
Damn.
Pretty freaking good giveaway.
How do I get in? How does someone get in the giveaway?
They just speak in chat. I'll throw you in, Matty.
I want that hero. That hero was awesome. The warrior is super strong too.
Yeah.
Wait, but Guy, I'm pulling you up. Yeah.
$22 for a mythic pirate, and they look cool AF.
Oh man,
pirates do look cool. I do like the artwork on pirates.
When you say it in terms of USD value, it seems like nothing.
Yeah.
Well, no, those are level 1.
Like 20 bucks. Like my lunch was $20 today. Like I just have to not eat lunch for one day.
Yeah, just don't eat. Just don't eat.
What if I didn't eat dinner too? Then I could buy 2, DS them. Great.
Did someone already buy all of the mythic pirates on the tavern right now?
No.
At level 10.
You're on.
There's literally
only one.
Is that right?
It's possible.
There's only one above level 10.
That's what I'm looking at.
Okay, so the sage was from Sir Worm, which I guess I won during the boar hunt. Was that okay? I have been checking the guild chat, and then so the warrior was from Digital Sniper, which I don't know why he sent that, just because he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
You can get a level 10 legendary for $8.
$8.
That's
so I went. I will look up legendary pirate like with the matching subclass, because there weren't that many.
Probably a bit of a premium on that.
I grabbed 2 of them last week when my theory came to fruition. Yeah, like that's an insane price for
that's
him.
level 10.
Yeah. Right, he's the only one. Yeah.
Although,
does the 29? Do you guys have any abilities? Because I would think about it if they had no.
I mean, you can set up an alert. They pop on the tavern just because it's not on there right
foresight,
now.
double poison blade.
Double foresight's nice. That's expensive though. That's very high. But level 14. I'm thinking about it.
All right, should I give away these heroes?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So we got the wheel of names here.
Did you get Chris Smith at the end there?
Yep, Chris Smith. I had gone
from
earlier.
You put Bud twice?
Who?
Bud. He deserves a second entry.
Oh, I don't think I put him on the first.
Why?
Because I said so.
Okay.
Yeah, I did, and I just shuffled it. All right.
And then Franz keeps it. Is that on there?
Almost forgot.
Who's
TTS gear.
You got him in there?
All right. Okay. So the first one we're going to do is the warrior. Level 13 warrior, regular might stone.
Can the same person win both?
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I hope Franz keeps it on both.
I will keep it.
Yeah, I mean they're both great heroes. He deserves it. Give it to him.
Skiller.
He's such a gamer.
All right, so Skiller gets the warrior.
Nice, congrats.
I bet he's not watching. I think Mythic Squad was doing a thing tonight.
If he's not here to claim, then he doesn't get it.
So we
is that a rule? Is that a rule we're putting in? I didn't know that.
That's fine.
Must be present to win.
No, Skiller will get it.
Yeah.
All right. This one is for the Sage.
Oh, this is a big one. Oh! Yes! Yes!
No, I'm not actually keeping it. I'm not keeping
We'll re-roll it next week. No, you got to keep it.
Stay on the board. If you get it twice.
If I get it twice, it's fine.
No, come on.
AA free.
AA free. All right, fine.
All right, and this is for Matty's Mythic Pirate.
I'm not giving that away. No, I'm keeping that.
And we'll never know who it landed on.
All right. So you heard it. You heard it here first. It's pirate. It's gonna be pirate.
And if it's not, what happens? What's the recourse if this was all bullshit and you wasted everyone's time?
Well, do we want to talk about
if?
Do we want to talk about the fact that the team is lying to us potentially?
If Thief comes out, we're gonna have to have a very podcast.
Like if Poison actually is live, or if they change the codex so that Thief doesn't do Poison.
I would have. All right. Well, let's not get into this because we're going.
Yeah, like it'd be upsetting. It'd be very upsetting.
I would have actual issues with that.
I just think there's so many other things around the Thief. Like the battle budget, I think is the premier thing.
I mean, I get it. I get why you think that, but like they said emphatically, Poison is not in the next release.
Yeah.
Like, and Thief is so entwined with Poison. I like. They'd have to change something. They have to change something dramatically without telling us, which I feel like would be unfair.
You also got to assume the next weapon. Well, no, the next weapon set doesn't have to be daggers.
No, I don't. Yeah,
if it's Thief,
I
think it has to be.
Well,
you had all episode to bring this stuff up.
Yeah.
Until after we were wrapping.
It's only been an hour. Why are we wrapping? We got like another 2 to go.
There's not much to talk about.
We're wrapping up.
The boar hunts for a while now. If it drops
fine.
this
I'll
week,
next
episode is going to be a lot of fun.
Guys.
Yeah, you got cookies over there. You're good to go. AA free and who else won? And Skiller, DM me. AA free, definitely DM me. I don't know if I know
we should.
Is your name the same on Discord? Maybe it is. Anyway, you can take it, Matty.
This has been an episode of Bogside Chats. My name is Matty Pask for Franz and for Guy Kid. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we will catch you next week.
Love you guys.